You were born what year, Mr. Hanson?
1931.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Yes, I do. My dad and I remember we sitting there listening to the radio, of course. He didn't have TV. It was on the radio, and we all grouped around the whole family grouped around the radio and listened to that. And of course, I was just a kid, 10 years old. And kids 10 years old don't think about things like that. I became 16. I got a job at Hope's Windows. Here's a picture of the draftees. You know, we all went in a bunch, got on the bus and went off for Buffalo. Maybe you know some of them people there. They wanted to know if I wanted to go in the Marines or the Army. I had my choice. Oh. What's tell us all about it, you know? Well, the Marines is 4 years and the Army's 2 years. Well, give me the Army. The way it worked out, we got out in 21 months.
How long were you at Fort Dix then?
Well, we were all through basic there, and then we went to, they didn't know what to do when we got out of basic. So we need a lot of truck drivers in Korea. So then we went to truck driver school. And I got my license for tractor trailer, and in the meantime, we was all set to get married. The only way I could do that was on a weekend pass. As soon as I got out of truck driver school, that was all done with. I come home Friday night, and Saturday morning, she had arrangements made, and we were married on Saturday afternoon, and that was, then we had to head right back down to Fort Dix. Took off in our old car, scuttled down there. The car broke down once on the way down. And finally my orders came through. It was New Year's Eve, 52. There was 12 days across the Pacific. And the Pacific was about as rough as it'll ever get. And I was up and down, up and down. About 80% of the guys, I think, had got seasick, you know. There was 7,000 guys on that ship. Wow. In 12 days going over.
You seasick?
Tell me about it. Well, and you try to spend as much time as you could up on deck, you know. But that's where everybody else was. We got come into Yokohama and got off the ship there, and it was beautiful over there. It was nice and warm, and they flew us up into the big airstrip up by Seoul. And there was probably about 6 of us. Our orders said we had to go up to Seoul. Somebody found out we could grab a train that went down to Busan. So we all, I think there was about 6 of us. The train went real slow, you know, not much faster than you could walk, I guess. That was the largest airstrip in Korea. The airstrip went right out into the ocean. If it didn't make it, they landed in the water. And they'd come in there all hours of the day and night, you know, come in and land, and jet fighters and all that. And you didn't get an awful lot of sleep. And we had the Koreans there, would be there to change tires. This is when they first started bringing in black people, you know. Mm-hmm. They were mixing them with us. And
how did that go? Was there a easy transition or not? Was it hard?
Yeah, there was no problem at all.
Yeah.
Some of the nicest guys I run into were, you know, the black and And one of them there kept sending me Christmas cards every year. And, the nicest guy you could ask for.
When you were at Busan, what was your role there?
I worked in the mortar pool.
Motor pool?
And all the construction equipment, the bulldozers and these big pans that they move dirt with.
Sure.
And then they had the asphalt plant there. And our job was to maintain that longest strip in Korea. So I think it was 9,000 feet or something like that. The last couple of months, I was motor pool sergeant. I was in charge of dispatching and for work, sending these guys out to work. And I know one thing, they didn't have any toilet facilities over there, and we kept, they run down to the rice paddy or something, and then they got to arguing about who was going to have who was going to give all the waste to come out. I think we built a 4-holer, and we had these little 25-gallon buckets we slid in the back, And then the Koreans, they got to fighting about who was going to have. We had to make a list of who was going to get the buckets. So they come over with their A-frame. They had an A-frame. They set on the 3 prongs on like this. And they come over with that, and they have about a 20-gallon barrel or a wooden barrel on the back. They had it poked full of straw, And then they take these 2 guys to take out, and they dump everything in that barrel, and it's poking full of straw again. The wind splash out, and they used to get in the hassle. Who was going to get that?
Well, I understand that. Yeah, that'd be good. Wow.
And down the rice paddies they went. Just dumped it in the rice paddies.
Yeah.
And the women were down there planting rice. And poking them one by one. And that was, we got a kick out of that. Work up up by the Suwon Reservoir. That's almost up to Seoul. And he said, we got truck drivers here, we don't know what to do with it. I don't know why they sent so many truck drivers over here. We don't have no trucks to drive. So we wanted to go up to the heavy equipment school up there. That would be great. They kind of asked us, whether they were going to send us anyhow. And then I was up there for probably a month, I guess. The time went so fast over there, it seems to me. We worked like 7 days a week. We had to watch out for snipers and stuff down where we were. Every once in a while the air police would right across from the motor pool there was our motor pool, which is a rickety sort of thing. They had a Korean cemetery, and they buried them people, just like they do over here. And they put them in the grave, and then they covered up, and then everybody would bring fruit and vegetables, perfectly good food. I don't know where they got it all, because there's none of it over there. And they'd pile it right on top of the grave. And there it was sitting rot, You kind of wonder about some of their beliefs, I guess.
Yeah.
Actually, what we worked for was the Air Force. They call it Skywarp, they call that outfit. It was a special category Army with the Air Force. We was in the Army, but we still got paid by the Air Force, and we done all their work, on the airstrip. And you tell somebody a Skywarp, what the heck does that mean?
It all began when my grandson asked me, he said, "Grandpa, what did you do in the Army?" And I got to thinking about it. Well, what did I do? I was in the most offbeat, oddball, screwed up unit that the Army has ever manufactured. Seems as though every war has to have at least one totally idiotic unit, and I was in it in Korea. It was called SCARWAF. That's an acronym that the Army uses for everything, and it means Special Category Army Reassigned with Air Force. In other words, they used drafted Army troops and sent them to the Air Force. The Army lost track of them, the Air Force didn't want them, and nobody ever heard of us.
The time went so fast over there, it seems to me. And we worked like 7 days a week.
Well, thank you. Thank you for opening your house today. This has been terrific. Thank you.
Yeah.